Okay, good morning, everyone. It's already 9:05. I think we should start our training, our workshop. It will not, just to let you know, this workshop will not take too long because I'm sure we've been practicing what formative assessment is all about. Okay, I would need you to do a short questionnaire survey. One moment, just let me see where I can share the QR code here. Okay, all right. Can you see, would you be able to scan the QR code and just answer the question? Oh no. Are you able to scan and go into this Mentimeter? Okay, cool, thank you. Oh, I need to share the screen first. One moment. Share the screen. Sorry, I haven't been using Teams for a while since it's physical mode. Okay, sharing. You should be able to see my screen. So after your lecture, how do you check students' understanding of the lecture? Them a quiz, you give them a test. How come it's not appearing here? You do a presentation during tutorial, write reflection on the lecture by giving some exercises, test by pop quiz, ask questions. All right. Generally, right, if you were to give them some exercises to do you mark those exercises individually, or do you go through the answers with the students all at once, all together? You can just let me know through the chat. And one response was giving some exercises. So if we do give exercises to students, right, do we get them to hand out their exercise, then you mark and return to them? Or do you, ask them to do the exercise, and after that, go through the answers together with them? Go through it together. All right, that will save a lot of time marking, right? Okay, all right, test by pop quiz, ask questions, reflect on the lecture. Do you ask them to write a reflection, or how? Exercise using Google, right? It's self-paced in a sense. So it takes time, it saves time also. Okay, all right. So this is how you check a students' understanding of the lecture. So if you, when in the course of asking them questions, asking them to do the exercise on Google, or go through the answers during class time, and if you find that a lot of them got the wrong answer, still do not understand what was taught during the lecture, then what would you do? What do you do? You can just answer me verbally, or just type in the chat box. So after you've given them exercises or quiz, and you find that a lot of them still do not really understand what was taught. So what would you do? Go through the lecture again? I don't think we have time. Give them more practice. Get them to present their understanding of the lecture. All right. Okay, I think we try various ways of getting them to do what they need to do. All right, cool. Next one, I think in your phone, if you have not closed up that time, you should be able to see the other question. Okay. Oh, you see that already. When should formative assessment be given? To identify strengths, we monitor student learning, feedback during class time. All right. Basically, if for this question is, when should formative assessment be given? It means it's not summative. Summative is like final exam or midterm exam, that kind of thing, right? Formative assessment would be assessment that is not final exam and midterm exams, basically. So one would be formative assessment should be given during class. Okay, while the class is going on. All right. Okay. What about before the class? Can we give formative assessment before the class? And if you think that we can give formative assessment before the lesson begins, maybe you could raise your hand. Okay. You all are being very awfully quiet. Okay, sorry, I think I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Xin Yi. I'm from the School of Communication and Creative Arts from the UG campus. All right, there are actually only 2, 4, 6, 7 participants. Maybe we can actually introduce ourselves, your name, which school you're from, and probably what courses you're teaching. All right, and then before we go into the workshop proper. If you like to show us who you are also is fine. If not, then at least we can actually hear from you. Maybe introduce yourself, what program you're teaching, what courses you're teaching, subjects you're teaching. In my screen, it is Adrian whose name who appears first, other than Hazim. So Adrian, would you like to start the ball rolling?
Okay, why don't I go first then?
All right, sure. Thank you.
While Adrian, he's in the
Okay.
washroom.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
all
my
right.
name is my name is Chris, Cristobal, and I'm from the School of Business, and I pretty much teach business programs in the diploma as well as the degree.
Okay, thanks, Christabel.
All right, you're welcome.
This is why, we see students taking handphones to the toilet. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Sheila.
Hello, I'm Sheila. Good morning, everyone. I'm from the UG campus, School of Business. I teach management subjects as well as HR.
Thank you. Mei Ling. Mei Ling, are you here? Okay. Logeswari.
Hello, morning. I'm Logesh.
Morning.
I'm from UG campus also, School of Business, teaching finance.
Okay. Dr. Muhammad Ashraf.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Ashraf. I'm from PG campus. I'm from engineering department and I teach for degree students.
Okay. All right. Welcome. Malini.
Good morning. My name is
Morning.
Malini. I'm also from SOB, teaching management subjects.
Okay, all right. I see a lot of my colleagues from the same office. We are yet so near, yet so far. All right, cool. All right, come. All right. I teach English to certificate, diploma, degree level students. All right. Okay, English as in writing and also oral communication. All right, cool. So basically this one. All right, one moment. Let me just stop sharing first. I will get to upload my PowerPoint. One moment here. Browse from the computer. Okay. Sorry. Okay, do you see the slides? Okay, thank you. All right, so today we are talking about formative assessment. All right, so I can't see the slides. So small. Wait, I can't see myself. Wait, hang on a while, yeah. Just close this one. Okay, now I can see. All right, so today for this workshop, the learning outcome for this workshop is to understand what formative assessment is, all right, and to explore a variety of formative assessment strategies. Okay, all right, so next slide. Right, so basically just some theoretical background first. All right, there are two types of assessments. One will be formative assessment and the other one will be summative assessment. I'm quite sure we are all very familiar with assessment and whatnot and stuff. So I'm not here to tell you so much about that, but it's more of sharing of ideas on how to do formative assessment, right? So basically, formative assessments will help students to learn and to practice, whereas summative assessment is to assess students' performance. Basically, generally at the end of a semester or mid-semester in a way, right? And that is to collect evidence of what students have know, what students have learned, what skills they have learned, and for English will be their proficiency level, right? Whereas formative assessment is done throughout the course. It can be for every lesson you do a formative assessment also, and it is to identify what students' understanding of the subject matter, and also to identify which areas they need help with in a sense, right? And formative assessments, summative assessments generally is related to a grade being given. Whereas formative assessments, they could be just, they do a pop quiz, but this pop quiz does not account for any marks at all, right? It's just to help us to know whether the students have understood what they have been taught. That is formative assessment, right? If you have any questions during the course of this workshop, please do feel free to just ask. Okay, all right. So what is formative assessment? Right. So formative assessment, basically, theoretically speaking, is a systematic process to continuously gather evidence about learning. That's basically this, right? That means it is a process. It goes on continuously and is systematic in the sense that we will know when to slot in the assessment during our lecture. Sometimes our lecture could be 3 hours, but maybe it is on a one big topic, and in this one big topic, there could be a few subtopics. So after you have finished one subtopic, you can just give them like a pop quiz or ask them some questions, something like that. So to test the understanding of the subtopic, that could be that. And it's very done systematically because you know when to slot in these formative assessment in a sense. Okay, so basically formative assessment asks where the learner is going, where the learner is now, and how will the learner get to where he or she needs to be. All right, so basically the formative assessment helps learners to recognize their weaknesses, all right, and their strengths. Learners would know that, okay, if I'm asked this question, I really don't really understand this part in this area, and maybe for this another area, I am actually able to do that, right? And for instructors, it helps instructors to identify areas learners are struggling in and how to deal with the problems. For example, I teach English. For oral comm, there's not so much of formative assessment that can be done. But for writing and referencing, there are quite a number of formative assessments can be slotted in, right? So for example, for writing and referencing, most of the time students will face a lot of problems when they're doing in-text citation and referencing. All right, so if it's in-text citation, right, I would need to slot in quite a lot of formative assessment areas into the subtopics of in-text citation so that I will know whether the students have problems doing narrative citation or parenthetical citation, and after that, if I find that a lot of them make a lot of mistakes when they do in-text citation in terms of like parenthetical citation, then I would need to give them a lot more practice on that. That would hopefully that would actually help them to remember how to do that, because it would be tested in the summative assessment later also. Okay, all right. So why is formative assessment important? Because it helps to improve student learning and teaching effectiveness. Basically, formative assessment is basically just to get this. The main idea for formative assessment is to get the students to realize what they do not really understand, and to help the instructors to know which areas to focus on more. All right, and also it provides feedback to students and to the instructors also. And one way also is to help students to monitor their own learning. I think nowadays we have on blended learning and whatnot. So students are supposed to also to be independent learners. So by doing formative assessment, they would know which area they need to focus on. And it should help students to feel less anonymous. in a sense that if it's a 3-hour lecture, if they just attend the class, and then after that, they're just gone like this, students could be just, okay, I attend the lecture and go home, right? But if they were to do an assessment, right, at least they submit something, the lecturer actually sees that, oh, this student who has submitted something, in a sense, right? What are the different types of formative assessment, right? So you mentioned just now in the first questionnaire that you give them pop quiz, you give them class exercises, you ask them questions, right? All these are different formative assessment, but I think we would choose the assessment that would be one suitable for the number of students in class and suitable for the topic that you are doing. We are all come from different programs, so there is no one type of formative assessment that is for all. So I would think that we are able to know what type of assessment to be given to students based on the topic we are doing and the class size and whatnot. All right, so basically, what type of assessment, we need to decide what is to be assessed first. All right, and choose the technique that provides this feedback. So if I want to assess, for me, if I want to assess in-text citation, what technique would be more suitable? Do they play a Kahoot game on that one? It could be to a certain extent, but the ultimate way to actually assess whether they understood in-text citations for them to do actual practice on in-text citation. Basically a class exercise, but I generally would not want to, maybe for the first few questions, I would go through the answers with them all together, but ultimately they would need to complete a worksheet where they submit individually and I will mark individually so that I would know whether each student has understood how to do in-text citation or not. But again, of course, depends on the class size. For writing, we try to cap the class size to 40 to 50 students because we say that for English, if we have too many students, we can't give individual attention. So if you have a class of about 100 to 200 students, whether you want to give class exercise and to allow the students to mark the students' work individually, that it depends on you, all right, whether you have the time or not and how often you give that one, all right? And formative assessment should also be easily implemented. And one thing is, has to be consistent with your teaching style, right? If you are very comfortable with just asking them to do the questions on exam.net, just go ahead to do that. But if you would like to play a lot of games then you can actually incorporate a lot of, can gamify your lesson, your assessment, formative assessment also, right? As long as you are able to gain an overview of their results, their feedback. All right, so what are the different types of formative assessments that are there? All right, basically, again, the types of formative assessment, again, depends on you, right? The one that I got from from my readings would be, but basically questions. How you ask the questions can be written form, can be verbal, yes, pop quizzes, all right? It can also be, questions also could be related to class exercises also. The minute paper, you guys have to write reflection for 1 minute, but again, it depends on class size, all right? Writing journals, if it's that one, and also to have a discussion. I think some of you also have written there to have a presentation, all right? That would be more of towards the end of the lesson. This, all right. And sometimes instead of just asking them to answer questions, we can actually have some games also, or to use some applications to make it a little bit more interesting for the students. Kahoot, all right. If anyone else can suggest something that is like Kahoot but not Kahoot, that would be good. But I guess I think most students will have gone through Kahoot many times already. All right. And then you could try Chrysalis. Chrysalis, the students do questions at their own pace. We can actually set the timing for Chrysalis also, and then we can actually know the questions that students have problems with also. So it gives an overview of that one, and then we can actually, after the students do a Chrysalis, we can actually go through based on the feedback, right? Go through the parts where most of them have got problems, right? Quizit, I haven't used it for quite some time, so you can actually check out Quizit also. All right, and I'm quite sure there are other methods also, such as Formative and Verso. So yeah, but some of these things you need to pay for it to get a full package for these ones. All right. Okay. All right. So how after they have done the formative assessment, how do we make sure that students use the feedback given? And I guess we get them to do class exercises and whatnot, and then after that you give them, we have marked it, we give them back the marks, the paper, the exercise. But how do we make sure that the students actually look at what was marked, what the feedback that was given? Any ideas? We give them a pop quiz, and then after that we go through the answers with them. Then, but how do we make sure? How do we ensure that the students actually, use the feedback or listen to the feedback that was given? Do we give them another quiz the next class, or do we get them to do more practice? Ask them to explain how, sorry, I need to see the chat box. Ask them to explain how that he or she solved the question. All right, because Dr. Ashraf is from the engineering program. Yes, get their reflection on the feedback. Sorry, see if they understood what went wrong. When they start asking more questions, you can tell that they're absorbing the feedback. That's very good. Yes. All right, so all these things, again, it depends on the type of assessment given to them. Right, so basically how to make sure, all right, yes, when they start asking questions, write reflection, then after that, ask them to explain how he or she solved the question. Again, all these are course specific. It depends on, yes, what is yes? Yes, verbal conversation. All right. Okay. And also one thing is also to give them more practice. Like for me, like I teach like again same thing writing. Like for example, in text citation, I would need to give them more practice. Basically, the feedback given to them, maybe the first round of exercise, I mark it and then after that tell them what's wrong. Then probably the next lesson or 2 lessons later, give them another round of practice so that they can remember and to know what went wrong, and hopefully they'll refer to the worksheet before to do this other worksheet, that kind of thing, right? Right. So actually, basically, that is the theoretical part for formative assessment. Basically, I think we have been practicing giving formative assessments and whatnot and stuff like that. So it's just a matter of sharing the idea of that here. So basically the idea here is not to just go through a 2-hour lecture. Then after that, at the end of the lecture, ask the students, do you understand? And students will generally say, yes. And if we to ask them some questions based on their yes answer, then you will realize that if you have 50 students, 40 students may be able to give you the correct answer. Definitely there will be at least 10 or maybe 2 or 3 even who will give you something that is a very, very wrong answer. So are they listening to what the others have listened to? Then we start to wonder. So basically, that's why formative assessment is actually quite good to, to know what they have learned and what they have understood. Basically that. Do you have any questions so far? If you have no questions, very good, very clear. Thank you very much. All right. If you have no questions, right, if you have no questions, right, what I would like to do is for you to share a lesson from a lesson that you have already, right? Maybe choose a topic, all right? Then after that, incorporate formative assessment into any part of the lesson. Let me just share this with you. One moment, yeah. I need to share screen. Okay, you should be able to see this. So let's say, for example, this one, I will give you this form. If you don't want to use this form, you can use your lecture slides also and maybe slot in after a certain topic, what kind of formative assessment you would like to do. So my topic is in-text citation, duration is 3 hours. Oh, level is certificate level, yeah, sorry. My level is certificate level, right? So, and basically my items would be this one. So I will give a lecture on in-text citation. All right. So there are different parts of in-text citation. All right. One would be before that, I would tell them about we have gone through what is generally a referencing and plagiarism first, and then we go into in-text citation, and I will introduce narrative and parenthetical citation. And after going through this one, all right, I will get them to do a chrysalis practice on narrative and parenthetical citation. They don't have to write it up yet, but at least there are some MCQ questions to get them to know, to identify which one is the correct narrative citation, corrective way to write a narrative citation, which one is the correct way to write a parenthetical citation. After going through this one, right, we go to the slightly easier one, the quotation method of doing in-text citation, and we'll play a Kahoot game, short one. All right, then after that, I would go through in-text citation from various sources, basically how to do in-text citation for 2 authors, 3 and more authors, in-text citation with no authors for a website, that kind of thing. All right, then after that, all right, I would get them to do the practice on exam.net. Generally, I try not to print worksheets for them to do. All right, so I would get them to do the in-text citation on exam.net so that at least they can all submit and can actually give them feedback on through exam.net also. All right, so basically that is my lesson for in-text citation. Okay, so just a very short one in a sense, but if they could finish in 3 hours, that would be great also. Okay, so last time what happened the first time when I taught this topic to this certificate level students would be, I just went through in-text citation, narrative, parenthetical, quotation method, then in-text citation from various sources, just all at one go. Then after that, I just gave them practice on exam.net. Then I realized that they can't really absorb so much at one go and do the practice at the end. So what happens is that I've broken down into different parts, and then after that, give them some practice to get the feedback, all right, in chunks, so that at least they can absorb it better in a sense, and I can actually get to know whether they are actually able to do it or not. So if through the through this one, chrysalis practice, I find that they have a lot of problems with doing parenthetical citation, then I will probably need to go through this part again and give them some more examples and some more in-class practice and that one before they do the practice on exam.net. Basically this one, that is how I do it, right? So it's up to you whether you want to share on this worksheet, all right? Or you can also have your slides. Then after that, maybe you can just share with us, okay, I will go through this subtopic. Then after that, I will do a formative assessment, then another subtopic, that kind of thing. It's up to you. Okay. Let me just try to share the worksheet over here. I don't know whether I can or not. Okay. How do I share the worksheet here? Okay. Oh. No. One moment. I can't share the worksheet. Can anyone let me know how to share the worksheet or not?
What do you mean by share the worksheet?
This
Share
one.
there's a share button there, right up there.
There's a share button.
Just next to leave.
Yeah, but how do I?
I think once you click on it, there will be windows or something like that.
But I want you to download the worksheet.
Oh, you want us to do, okay. So Mel said, maybe attach.
But I don't see attached.
Yeah, so the share button maybe next to your microphone, you scroll all the way down, there's a browse my computer.
Oh, okay, sorry. Yes. How come browse computer don't have it? Yeah.
No.
Don't
have?
Yes, one moment. But only the Excel comes out. But never mind. Maybe I can email you the worksheet. I think you need to attach to. Yeah, last time I managed to actually share, but now these days I can't share. I don't know why. Okay, never mind. I will email you the worksheet. Is it all right? It's either you want to use the worksheet to share with us, all right? Or maybe if you want to use your slides to also share how you do your formative assessment, it's fine. Is it all right? Okay, my time now is 9:41. Can we come back at about 10:15? Then maybe we have 12 participants, right? Maybe a few of us can share our lesson.
Okay.
You will
Okay.
be emailing it to us, is it?
Yes, I will email to you.
Okay.
Okay, I have your email address. No, I don't have your email address, but I have your names, so I can email to you. Okay, let's see who's here. Sheila first.
Shini, under the share button, you go after Excel, you scroll down some more. You can browse my computer.
Yeah, I browse my computer, but it's only PowerPoint that shows in my the one.
Yeah,
you go to desktop.
Yeah.
When you browse, it takes you to your PC, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
it's only Excel and PowerPoint only.
because it's in my hard drive, so that's why I can't.
Okay.
I used to be able to share the
No, because
sheet.
now I think the teams, when you create your own teams, there's attach. But when you just start a meeting like this, there's no attachment button.
No wonder. Okay.
With students, so now we have problem.
Yeah. Right. Malini Logeswari. All right. One moment. Then I have Chin Qian. Chin Qian. Right. Hazinoni. Christabel. Okay. Okay. Who else? Ashraf bin Nabo. Jehan. Okay, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 8, 10. I have 12 participants on correct, including me and Hasan. All right, cool. Okay, emailed to you already. So we meet here again at 10:15. Okay, it's already 10:19. Are we all ready to share? Okay, would anyone like to volunteer?
Sini, I'm Sheila. I will
Yes.
volunteer. I've already sent you my worksheet.
Okay, maybe
Can you just
you
share
share
that?
first. I will share the screen for this one.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
right.
do you
Okay.
see the page?
Yes, can.
Okay, all right.
Thank you. Okay,
Welcome.
good morning,
Okay.
everyone. Okay, I'm Sheila. I have decided to share with you all the topic that I'll be teaching on recruitment. After having a lecture on recruitment, this is for degree class, a 2-hour class, and after 1 hour of lecture, the exercise that I have prepared here is divide the class into group of 3 students per group, get them to do a role play. Decide who will be the 2 interviewers and 1 interviewee. 20 minutes duration given to the group to discuss on the relevant questions that could be asked for the respective vacancy decided by the group in their group discussion. So after 20 minutes, get the respective groups to do the role play, the other groups to observe, and at the end of the role play, the group leader of the group to give the feedback or rather comments that was discussed by the group. Here it's also where they can also decide and say the do's and don'ts, in the interview session, right? Some of the concerns could be on the following: what other questions can be asked in an interview session which the group had missed out? To also comment on the body language, was it appropriate for an interview session? Did the students use the correct key terms related to recruitment or hiring as taught during the lecture session? Finally, the facilitator or the instructor to comment on the strengths and weaknesses of the role play for each respective groups. Basically here to give the relevant points as to how the role play can be further improved or enhanced. Thank you for your attention.
Right, that's very good. I mean, this one should be for the final year students, right? Who's doing on this topic.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. That's very good. Also, they get to practice what they have learned. All right, so that they don't only just know the theory about that one. All right, it's actually very relevant also and hands-on practice for that. All right, thank you very
Correct.
much. Thank
Thank you.
Right. Okay, anyone else? Logis, ready to share?
Okay, sure. Give me a minute.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. Are you guys able to view?
Yes.
Okay. This is actually on finance topic. So I'll be doing on diploma, time value of money, which is 2 hours. So my class will be like I lecture at the same time they will have practice for each subtopics. So each subtopics they will have some practices at the same time. I'll show them some basic videos on calculations method. And then after that, I'll give them some additional questions to practice, and it goes on until the all topic has been completed. And then end of the class, we do on activities on group discussions. So there will be a few topics. It will be like they can choose the questions. So it will not be revealed to them what questions, but I'll do some questions and I put in the box. So they will choose the question for a few groups. And then they will take and they will do the workings, everything, and then present in front. And other students are required to find what is the careless mistake they have done. Because when we talk about calculations, there are few careless mistakes or some steps have been missed out. So other groups are required to do that, and then so that the careless mistake will not be repeated again.
Okay.
So my whole class will be like I'm teaching one subtopic, and then they will practice, and it goes on. And on the between also they will have some matching games, crossword puzzles. The games will be posted in open learning, so they are able to view and do it in the class also.
All right, cool. All right, that's very good.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Jehan, would you like to share?
Okay, I will share then.
Okay.
All right. So mine is marketing. Let me see. Okay, mine is very small. Basically an example. If I'm discussing about a particular topic, I would divide the class and then get them to work in teams, present in class, and then I will get other groups to help other presentees, to enhance their findings, because sometimes other groups have a better understanding in terms of the brand or something like that. Then after that, what I would do is I get them to share their answers. So what I usually do is I'm not sure if I can hold on. So everyone will end up sharing their information in the in a like a Google link. I can't. Okay, here. So like the answers of each group, they will put it up here, so that when they go through, all of them are able to see each other's work, and this would give them a platform for revision towards a progress test, or a sense, because we have progress tests for diploma for my subject. So basically, they can revise their work by going through the tutorials.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all.
Right. Okay. Thank you. That's
right.
it's very collaborative also, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me try to unshare. Okay, thank you.
Dr. Ashraf, you're from the engineering department. Would you like to share your lesson?
Okay, so let me share you my pen.
Okay.
Can you all see my
Yes, yes, we can.
my work? Okay, so actually for the subject that I'm teaching is about workshop practice. Okay, so usually what that I will do is, first of all, I will teach them using a slide, and then the second thing that I will do is I will show to them some video for them to get a better understanding on how the workshop practice being done. Okay, usually for this kind of subject, we cannot do calculation and so on lah, like be done by other lecturer. So what that I will do for me to get a clear understanding that the student understand better is we will conduct a lab session. So we will ask the student to do some project regarding the workshop practice that been teach in the class. So that is how I can know that the student understand or not. And usually I will observe lah. So whether the student do the practice accordingly to what I have teach or not. If not, I will ask them to refer back the lecture note and the video that I have show to them lah.
All right.
Okay,
Yeah, this is a very practical and hands-on one, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they need to put into practice anyway, right? That's very good. Yeah. Right, thank you. Mei Ling, would you like to share? I have a Yap Chin Kian here. Yap Chin Kian. Are you here, Yap Chin Kian? Would you like to share your lesson? Okay. While holding on, Jehan and Evelyn, would either one of you like to share? Okay, then Jehan first up. Thank you.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Right. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So I've made a short formative assessment for my subject writing for screen. So basically this is film writing subject. And this
Wow.
is an activity that we did this week, in fact. So we touched on conflict, fate, pyramid, and plot. And of course, for the item for the class was at first we had my lecture. Then after that, I had a couple of student activities. First one was I randomly picked a couple of students to talk about a particular movie, and then they were asked to explain the plots with their classmates. Then after that, we had a thorough discussion with the classmates whether they agree or disagree whether the plot can be considered as exciting plots or dramatic plots and whatnot. Then after that, I got the students to do a worksheet activity on the theory. So basically, it's a pyramid kind of worksheet where they were also given liberty to decide on any movie that they want to focus on, and then they have to follow the theory and the parts that they need to fill in. And then lastly, it was a group effort. So I grouped up the students and I gave them the Mulan movie because this semester the students are quite hype up on Disney movies.
Yeah.
So I told them to improve the Mulan, the 2020 Mulan, and they came up with quite interesting number of different plots and ending for that particular movie.
All right, that's very good. Also very practical,
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Right. Thank you.
Okay. No worries. Okay, how do I do?
Okay. Yeah, Chin Chen, are you ready?
Hello.
Yes, Mr. Yep.
Wait, give it. First of all, see if I can show my screen.
Okay. We will wait for your screen to be shown.
Wait, I seem to make this work. Hold on.
Okay.
Teams Teams is being not helping. Why is it not opening up?
You just share screen, I suppose. Are you able to share your screen?
Okay, let me try.
Okay.
Can you see now?
Yes, can.
Okay, so this is a diploma exact topic about trigonometric proofing. In other words, this is one of the advanced advanced topics for trigonometry, whereby a lecture will be given to teach, and what are the identities of trigonometry, what is the addition and subtraction methods, followed by double angle and half angle, and lastly trigonometry proofing, which is using all the three subtopics on top in order to prove that one expression of trigonometry can be changed into another expression thereby proving that one function of trigonometry can be equivalent to the other. So how I get the feedback is I will actually ask the students how do we identify the identities that and formulas that is formed from A, B, and C, and then through the understanding of these three subtopics, it then applies into the proofing the proofing section itself. And I forgot to add one. I forgot to add one thing in. What I would do is I will give them one example of one trigonometric proofing equation, and I will actually group the students into pairs. So they will give, so each pair would actually try to attempt how do they move from one side to the other. And after all the pairs have done it, then I will show the steps towards getting the answer.
Okay, all right, cool. Thank you.
Mm.
All right, anyone else would like to share? Okay, if there's none, all right, before we end this workshop, all right, I'd like you to do a short quiz. The link is here. Just copy and paste the link on your, this is a URL. You just need to copy and paste it into MM. If you can't, you can actually go to this one, zz9.sh. You can actually go to this URL, zz9.sh. Then after that, enter this one. And enter this one. It's either you copy the whole thing, the first thing, or if not, you can just go to zzi.sh, then after that you enter the code. And you can start to play. uh, if you have not used Quizalist before, all right, as the teacher, you can actually see quite a lot of things. Let me share screen with you. All right, so I can see something like this. You should be able to see my screen. It says who needs help, and after that show me. It's either you're doing or something like this. So it needs help, almost there, strong, that kind of thing. All right, but of course you need to ask your students to put in their real names, right? Then what they need help with, all right, so something like this. Okay. If I want to, I can actually choose a different task to do that. So if a student scores less than this, when you're setting your assessment, right, you can actually state that if it's MCQ questions, that will be much easier to do. If it's subjective, then you need to actually look through the subjective questions, right? So if it's MCQ questions, if they score less than 50%, you can actually get them to do additional practice in a sense. Okay, then after that, you can have your results table, and if you have any subtopics or whatnot, you can actually download it also in a sense. So this would be the results. Okay, something like this. So these ones haven't submitted yet, and yeah. Tap on the student's name. Okay, then we can actually see individual students' answers also in a sense. Right? So this is how you actually use Quizlet. Okay, right. Are there any other questions? Okay, if there's no questions, thank you for attending this workshop.
Thank you, Sini.
Have a great week ahead.
Thank you.
Welcome. See you.
Bye.
Okay, thank you. See you again.
Welcome. See you.